One of the hardest challenges you have in addiction recovery is your cravings. But understanding them is the first step towards beating them and finally getting out of that porn addiction. In this video, I'll show you how to handle cravings when it arrives, the urges, how to deal with them in the present moment, long-term strategies in order for you to deal with them and finally completely erase them and build the resilience that you need to stay on track. But before telling you all of that, who am I? My name is Wesley, and my mission, my big purposeful mission right now, is to help prevent 1,000 men from killing themselves because of porn addiction. These are my type of videos, and if that interests you, make sure you subscribe. You've been invited to a party by one of your close friends. You know that the party is at Wednesday. It's at 5 p.m. And you said that you were going to go, but Monday you think about it and you don't really want to go Wednesday. But you still tell your friends, hey, yeah, I'm going to go Wednesday. Then Tuesday arrives, and Tuesday you're almost certain that Wednesday you don't want to go to the party. And the reason is not because you really don't want to go, right? You really want to go to that party. And it's a party where you will see a girl that you're in love with. So it's an important party. You could make a move on her and maybe even get in a relationship with her. Or maybe kiss her at the party or other things, right? But you're afraid, you're scared. Why are you scared? Why are you scared to approach a girl? And why are you scared to go to the party? That's because of your porn addiction. The fact that you're fapping yourself every day to porn makes it so that you have low self-confidence and you don't feel confident in yourself enough to actually approach women, ask them out, and make moves. If you would be free from porn addiction, you could imagine all the benefits that you could get from that, right? If you're interested, first link down in the description. On that, let's continue directly with the video. As I said, the first step towards working with your cravings is understanding them. So cravings are like urges for porn. You get them from triggers usually, but these are urges that makes your brain think that if he don't fap right now, he will not be happy. He won't get the fulfilling that he deserves, and that right now it's almost a life or death situation. You have to go and fap or else you're dying. That's the signal that is sent to your brain, and that's why you have to fap and you feel like you have to fap. It's your brain sending you a signal that, hey, you have to go and fap right now or we are dying. And that's when your survivability instinct comes in, and that's why a lot of people succumb and relapse, slip up from their no fap recovery journey. That's because they're letting the urges take over. But the cool point with urges is that they're temporary and manageable, right? You don't get urges for the whole day. You get urges at a specific time in the day for like maybe 5 to 10 minutes. And if you successfully don't let yourself go in that urge, you will see it will just disappear. So it's just like bad moments in your recovery. And that's like really important to know, right? I often will make the comparison to urges of porn, the cravings, with cravings of eating, like snacks and things like that. You see, you have 3 main meals in a day. You have the breakfast, the dinner, and the supper. These main 3, sometimes you eat in between, right? You have maybe a snack in between and another snack. So maybe sometimes you eat 5 times in the day. But the snacks are not supposed to be there. You go and pick them because you're still hungry, right? And sometimes you have this feeling that you want to just go and see in the fridge, oh, is there something good to eat? Is there a dessert or anything that is good, like maybe a bar or maybe just, I don't know, fruits, things like that, right? So you have these cravings of food, and these cravings of food are because, if you want the scientific explanation, I'll give it. It's because your insulin rise because of the sugar that is in your blood. So in order for you to stay alive, the insulin has to rise, and because it rises, that's preventing your brain from looking at the leptin. Leptin is a molecule inside of you, and that's telling your brain how much energy you have. And because of the insulin that rise, leptin isn't seen by your brain, so your brain doesn't know at that typical moment how much energy do you have. So it tells your brain you have no energy, even if you just eaten for like maybe 1 hour ago. When your brain does this energy check, they see, oh, we have no energy, you have to eat, or either you're going to die because you have no energy. And the signal that it sends to your brain, and that after your brain tells you, is you have to go and eat right now. So that's why you have these cravings of food. And it's funny enough because that's almost the same principle that applies for porn. You have these porn cravings, these urges of porn, and that's the same thing. The same signal is sent to your brain saying, if you don't fap right now, you won't ever be happy. Things like that. And it's normal for you to want to be happy, right? Everyone wants to be happy in life. So it's kind of manipulating your brain into thinking that if you don't fap right now, you're never going to be happy. As when you go and get snacks, it's because your brain, the message that is sent is, if you don't eat right now, you're going to die. That's crazy, right? So imagine yourself right now having these urges, right? Maybe you're already in your journey to recovery, and it's been a lot of time that you're on this journey, and you got a lot of urges, right? You got all these urges, but a lot of time you manage to maybe get through, but a lot of the time what happens is that you relapse. Because if you were not relapsing, you are basically free, right? You would be free right now. But the point of you watching this video is because you're not free, and maybe you're trying to free yourself from this addiction, or you're at the beginning of your journey and you're trying to get enough motivation to finally start your journey and finally get free from this. Wherever you're in that journey, that's always the good point to be, because it's better to start today than to start 1 month ahead, right? So the sooner you start, the better. But let's continue with the story. Imagine yourself right now having these urges. You want to go and fap, and you feel like if you don't fap right now, you're going to die. Alright? You have these big urges, and maybe your dick is really hard right now. You're feeling you have to go and fap right now. Like, it's not even a question. You have to go and fap. What can you do in that situation? I have a lot of strategies, but I'll give you the ones that are the most popular. That's the one I recommend to people. The first one is to do deep breathing. And it can seem dumb, right? But have you tried it? I swear that makes a big difference. Just inhaling and exhaling makes a big difference. And the point is that when you're fapping yourself, your breathing is not consistent, right? It goes faster and faster because you're excited, and that's why you're coming at the end, right? There's never a single person that goes and fap and the whole time he's breathing like super normal, like if you would do that and just keep your calm all the way, you will almost never come. Like, it would take you maybe 2 to 3 hours, and probably that your dick wouldn't even get hard. And I know that because it's a trick when you're doing stuff with your girl. Yeah, if you're having real sex, instead of coming, you could just focus on your breath, and that's actually a trick to hold longer when you're in the bed. And that's funny because it works, but the way they discovered it is because they were using it for porn. And so it just like translates into real sex also. But the way to control yourself is deep breathing. And that can make the link towards mindfulness, right? Being in a meditation mode, just with your legs crossed and just doing maybe a 3-minute meditation. Just deep breathing, thinking about your breath, focusing on the present moment and not on the past nor the future. Just focusing on your breath and breathing from the stomach, not from the high of your chest. That's called like ball breathing. You could check that on YouTube, right? That's really important if you're trying to recover from all of that, your porn addiction. So that's a second strategy that I gave out to a lot of people and actually helps people to get through their urges without relapsing and continuing their day and everything. Finally, the last that I give is the 5-minute rule. I call it the 5-minute rule. It's basically, if you got these urges, you have to make a promise to yourself that you're going to not act on it for at least 5 to 10 minutes. You choose which time between the 5 to 10 minutes, but minimum of 5 minutes. If you want, you set yourself a timer. You press 5 minutes and you do something else for the 5 minutes, right? You could watch a video for the 5 minutes, or I don't know, you go outside and you walk a bit. You do something for the 5 minutes, but you set yourself a timer. If really you want to go and fat, you feel like you have this big urge right now, you grab your phone, put a 5-minute timer, click on it, and go do anything in your life. Anything but fapping, right? So you could go outside, you could go and do push-up, I don't know. You go and talk to your mom about something that happened in your life recently. You go online and you look at something. You do anything. You could play video games, all right? Anything that is not an addiction that could ruin your life right now, right? But you do anything to distract yourself for 5 minutes. And when the timer rings, you'll see there's a lot of chance, if it's not almost every time, that you're not going to have the urge anymore. That's right now I'm playing in the manageable and temporary thing that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. These urges are so temporary that you could just distract yourself for 5 minutes and you would forget about it, because your brain doesn't need it to survive, but the message that it sends to your brain is that you need it. So your brain, in order for you to survive, he will tell you, hey, you need to go and fap. But that's not really it, right? You know that you don't need to fap. Before, you were living before fapping, right? At 6, you weren't fapping and you were super healthy and everything. You were a child. At 10, I hope that you weren't fapping. And you were pretty healthy also. You were free from yourself and you had so much energy. You could talk to anyone and anything, right? At 13, maybe you fap, maybe not. If you didn't fap, you know that you were still alive, right? You were alive before, right now that you're on this addiction. So by quitting, you won't be dead. But your brain can't really make the realization, because the message that it keeps on getting is, if you don't fap, you're going to die. So that's by yourself, you have to make the action to finally quit, in order for you to convince your brain that yes, I can survive without porn and it's the good choice. Now, it's cool having these little strategies for the present moment when you get the urge, but in the long term, what can you do to prevent these urges? First of all, identifying your trigger is the big part of it. If you identify that, for example, your trigger is every time you go on Reddit, you scroll, and there's a non-safe for work content that appears, and you have to click on it, and when you click on it, you see a half-naked girl dancing to a random song, or even sometimes naked girl getting directly fucked by another dude, and that's giving you the urges to want to go and fuck. Then you could just delete straight up Reddit, right? That's a big step. Sometimes people kind of want to stick on their platform, but if you're really serious in your journey, that's the best thing that you can do for yourself. If you're obligated to be on the app, for example, I don't know, it's Instagram, and you're selling stuff on Instagram, and sometimes you see a random girl dancing, you could train the algorithm to not send you these urges by clicking the not interested on the post. So you pick the 3 dots on the post, and there's like interested and uninterested. And by clicking not interested, you're training the algorithm to stop sending you these videos, so you don't get it, right? Another example is, for example, if your triggers, you get them from Facebook. Well, you could set yourself a time, maybe 1 hour that you can go on Facebook every day maximum. And you could guess that if you need 1 hour to do your work on Facebook and you should set yourself 1 hour, and after 1 hour you never touch Facebook again, if you respect yourself, you have discipline and you have self-love for yourself, you actually respect your words and apply what you say. After the 1 hour of work is finished, you won't go on Facebook anymore. So you won't ever get with your trigger. So you will have way less opportunity for urges to go and watch porn, right? Because you don't have the trigger anymore. So the first step is identifying your trigger. And the second step that I implement a lot of time is to implement healthy habits in your life to replace that time that usually would go and fap with. Imagine that you take 1 hour 30 every day to fap. Maybe you search for the video for 1 hour and there's 30 minutes that you go and fap. Let's say, right? So 1 hour 30 every day. This 1 hour 30, because now you're not fapping, you're under your way to finally quitting this porn addiction. What are you going to do with this 1 hour 30? You have to replace it with something else, right? Because if you're not tired, if you're bored for this 1 hour 30, what are you going to do? You're going to think about, oh, usually I would fap at that time, and create these urges, you relapse. That's like really what happens, and I'm talking from experience, right? I have a lot of experience in this domain, in this aspect, and I coach a lot of people, and I know that this usually happens. So that's why I'm basically making the videos, right? So you have to replace it with something else, and something else, make it a good habit, please. So at least you have at least one good habit in your life. Could be literally anything. You could read for like 1 hour 30. Read a book, something that interests you. It doesn't have to be like self-improvement. Just read something that makes you interested in it for 1 hour 30. Reading is really good for your brain. Reading books about knowledge is greater than books about history. Not history, I mean stories. But book is a book. Reading is the great habit. You could do meditation for a bit. You could go to the gym. That's the best example that I could give you. This 1 hour 30 that you were using to fap, you could put it towards working on yourself and actually building yourself some muscles, right? Could be like super muscular and everything. But in order for you to get all of that, you have to actually go to the gym. So take this 1 hour 30 that you would spend every day, and the 5 days of the week, go to the gym. Buy yourself a membership. Actually, pick any workout that you find online and just go and work in the gym. You will make a lot of friends. You will meet new people. You will get better. You will get in shape. You will be in health. You will get muscle. Like there's so much that you can get from just going to the gym, and you will spend energy and everything. It helps regulate your emotions and manage them more effectively than to stay in your room and just, stay there looking at the floor or anything is better than just being bored for 1 hour 30, right? So the best thing that I could recommend you is to actually go to the gym for that 1 hour 30 that usually would use to fap. If it's less, it's less, but even just going for like 1 hour to the gym is really beneficial for you. Maybe staying at your house and doing 30 minutes of exercises, like deep, intense exercises, is greater than spending that 30-minute fapping. Everything almost is better than fapping. So try and implement exercises or any good, healthy habit in your life. Something that can really help you in your journey, and you can build it, is resilience. Resilience will help you grow from your setbacks. It's helping you maintaining a positive mindset and learning from mistakes. And the last point that I mentioned, the learning from mistakes, that's really important. If you relapse, you have something to learn from that, right? Don't be the person that relapse and every time that you relapse say, oh damn, I'm so trash, I can't go through this, and any insult basically. Don't be that guy, right? Be the guy that, for example, tomorrow I relapse. Why did I relapse? When, at which time of the day was it? And what trigger did make me have the urges to go and relapse, right? relapses is not something that happens just like that and it's against your will, right? You actually get convinced at a point, I don't know when, but there's a point where you get convinced by yourself that fapping is a good thing, and actually I will just do it, but just this time. And then right now you got convinced and now you're going to go in relapse. It's a choice that you make. It's not someone forcing it on you, right? It's not, oh damn, right now I'm naked and I'm obligated to fap, right? It's, oh damn, maybe my dick is hard right now. I just saw this woman on the internet and like damn, she's so beautiful, right? And oh, I know I said that I would stop to go and I would stop fapping, but like just one last time, right? Just one last time. And right now you got convinced you're going to go and relapse. And after it's all done, what feeling are you having towards yourself? Damn, I'm not good enough and everything. You have to understand and learn from your mistakes. Why did you did it? At which time did you did it? What was your trigger? What was the environment that you were in right before you got the urges and went and fap? How did your brain actually convince you? What way did you use? Actually learning from that and learning from your relapses, your mistakes, will make you actually quit for good porn. And that's what the majority, the 99% of people that are actually on this path to recovery are missing. Nobody's learning from their mistakes. All they're doing is, oh, I relapsed. And now what they do, they go on the forum and I don't know, they write, oh, I relapsed yesterday or things like that. They go on their support group and say, oh, I relapsed. Why did you relapse? What have you learned from that? That's the point. If you actually apply what you learn and you actually learn something, you're going to make so much more progress. That's the best thing that you could get from this video. Just learn from your mistakes. It doesn't matter if you, for example, relapse 10 times, right? In the 20 next days, you relapse 10 times. The important point is to actually learn why did you relapse these 10 times. If you always relapse for the same reason, please change that reason. You have to learn something, right? There's people I see, it's frustrating, right? I see them, they have good potential, right? They could finally get free, but the for lifetime that they were on their journey, they did maybe 1 week or 2 weeks without fapping, and 2 weeks in, the same urges came, and the trigger was because they were on Instagram. That's like most popular. It's medial, it's social media and everything. These are the most popular. He was on Instagram, he saw a half-naked girl dancing and shaking her butt. He went and fapped. And that's the last time that he had the relapse. I was like, why don't you stop Instagram? And he was like, oh, I'm addicted to Instagram. So before actually helping him to quit his porn addiction, I had to help him quit Instagram. And now that he quit Instagram, now it's been a month and he didn't fap. He didn't relapse. But that's not magic, right? That's because his trigger was Instagram. And before actually quitting your porn addiction, maybe that's what's preventing you from quitting this porn addiction is another addiction to social media, right? And that may be a case. But he didn't realize, he never realized it. And because he actually talked with me and we discussed it, and he actually was interested by what I was offering, I could help him and make him discover that. Maybe I saved him 3 months or maybe a year of his life. And that's something that he could never buy, right? You can't buy time. But by buying what I'm offering, I'm saving yourself time from learning it alone in yourself and maybe not even being able to quit. You can imagine there's people that are addicted to porn addiction for 60 years and more, right? And I wouldn't be crazy by saying this. There's people at 80 that are still fapping. That, if you think about it, that's crazy. 60 years of your life are spent fapping to pixels on a cell phone. Maybe that this guy, if he were younger and was alive at his 20s, maybe he discovered me and I could help him save these 60 years spent on porn, right? It's not really 60 years, but imagine that every day for 1 hour he was fapping. In the total of the 60 years, maybe 60 years, maybe that you could say it's been 2 full years spent just on porn, just fapping himself, because of the 1 hour, 2 hours, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, everything. It makes enough hours to maybe make a year. So that's crazy, right? But maybe I could have saved him all this, and he could have had all the good benefits of finally quitting this porn addiction. So yeah, if you're really serious about your journey and you're really serious about finally quitting this porn addiction, I'm really here to help you, and you might be interested by the link in the description. I hope that you really learned something new from this video. Don't forget, the best advice that I can give you is learning from your mistakes. On that, take care of yourself.